Welcome to this week's CWL Discord Weekly. Let's see what the CWL superstars were up to this week as we get ready for the latest edition of Vindication and Nemesis. Jasper started a video in his home where he showed off the entire collection of championships he's won outside of the CWL. He had one spot empty, labeled CWL Accomplishments. He's ready to walk into the chamber next week and finally fill that empty spot. We got another update from Sergeant Hunter, or rather, Sergeant Grotto. We found out more information now that Dr. Plastic Surgeon Jr. is talking after a year of keeping quiet. After the successful and impressive surgery, he also wanted to change his own fingerprints. Just how far did Sergeant Grotto go in trying to assume Sergeant Hunter's identity? Although he has had 2 consecutive bad showings out with the CWLUniverse, Griteri is as confident as ever. He says he is calm and he's determined to take that YouTube championship away from Max Shearman. Black Rose claims she had nothing to do with Kaylin's exclusion in the chamber, and instead turned it around on the CWL management, claiming that it was management that is afraid of the DGC holding all the gold. We got a little bit of light to the history of Edward Bronson, and let me tell ya, it's terrifying. We found out the origin of the Bloke Breaker and why he enjoys doing it. The entirety of Starjammer LLC could be in for a huge decimation at Jailbreak. Chalking it up to just one major mistake, Zistro Horror is now out of the race for the Vindication Champion at Jailbreak. He seems to be really down on himself for allowing the mistake to happen, but if we know Zistro, he's going to be fired up again soon. We got a few words from Taylor Jones explaining why her showdown with Amber Arcade will happen at Endgame and not Jailbreak. Allegedly, she wants to give Amber Arcade more time to rethink her decision. She believes Amber doesn't really want to do this, and if Taylor shows up at Endgame and Amber doesn't, then it just confirms her suspicions. Harris was all kinds of fired up and exhausted after his classic match with Zistro Horror, and now he's the next entrant into the Jailbreak chamber. His history with Pistolero is well documented, and we're about to write another chapter in this exciting book. The indoctrination of Alexandra Marie into the Church of Steel was something that didn't go smoothly, but Olivia Maestral is not deterred from making it a reality that they can become champions. It seems we have a fascination with gods and mythology as of late here in the CWL, as Brubble talked to us about his past and what had happened to the mythos of what he believed in. After his history lesson, he showed us how much his strength has improved, and exactly what he plans to do to Starjammer LLC when they cross paths at Jailbreak. It seems Brian has caught the attention of backroom dealings, but let's be honest, whose attention don't they have? It's like they're fighting 3 wars at once. Jay Scott is already buying merchandise to celebrate holding a majority of the championships in CWL, and it seems like he's forgetting he's got the Broken Standard next. Or is he just trying not to think about his demise? Although they're trying to stay as safe as possible, Zach Anderson seems to be one step ahead of the Clarks the entire time. As they enclose their entire safe house with industrial-level iron doors, a picture was slipped underneath the door before it closed, and it had a picture of the Clarks burning home with the words reading, "See you at home, Alex." It has been confirmed that tomorrow, BMS and John Spartacus will team up to take on the War Boys after the War Boys attacked John Spartacus last week. Don't get it twisted though, BMS is just keeping John in the best possible shape because he wants to fight the Centurion at Endgame, not a shell. Toricon wanted a message, Connor Gates sent one last week. Connor Gates has now put the ball on Toricon's court after putting down Drake Harrison in impressive fashion. We were anticipating how the Beast would respond, but we didn't have to wait long. The answer was rather shocking. Toricon is putting up his Battle for Supremacy prize on the line against Connor Gates, but in a tag team match. Connor Gates and Johnny Gemini team up against Tora Khan and Samuel Black tomorrow in the main event of Nemesis. Cassidy filled us in on exactly why she got involved in the Selena Jada saga. She was trying to stop Selena from making a mistake while Scout just got in Cassidy's face trying to figure out why she stopped Selena. This whole thing devolved when Jada came in and bruised up Cassidy. And honestly, all four of these women seem to all have a problem with one another. It's chaos. The Nemesis Women's Champion ran down the list of why none of these women are on her level, citing previous victories over all of them, except for Scout McKenzie. How will this new wrinkle in the title picture unfold? Someone uploaded some audio of Jessie talking to herself on social media, and it sounded like she was arguing with herself about whether she wanted to attack Callie Kaplan or not. Interesting. It seems this partnership between Samuel Black and Tora Khan is reigniting Samuel's fire in Nemesis. He's ready for tomorrow's big main event match. He had quite a mouthful to say to Ryan Porter recently, so let's hear the replay of his entire interview.
Last week, Dave and Cairo put on one hell of a match against Rodrigo Del Gaizo, a true CWL legend that single-handedly won both the tag team titles and the Nemesis heavyweight title. You may be surprised to hear me say this, but I actually have a lot of respect for Rodrigo. He's an incredible fighter and he deserves the accolades he has. I have no respect, however, for the tick that's latched onto him and is sucking him dry. Even though they lost last week, Dave and Cairo took both Del Gaizo and his tick to the limit, and arguably did a better job than the so-called legends that were beaten once to win the tag belts and again to win the heavyweight title. And they did this in the very first match where they tagged together. Cairo and Graves aren't a pairing with a storied history, but they, like all of us in backroom dealings, are brothers in arms. They backed each other up, they worked as a team, and they did us proud. Cairo even finished that match injured from the first Del Gaizo special he took, and while he'll need to rest it next week, it shows how much of a tough bastard he is that it took 2 back-to-back specials to make him tap. And finally, I hope you'll allow me to pontificate for a moment, but I feel I need to address someone who's been quite vocal of late. Jake Nitro. You've made excuse after excuse about why you lost your titles, and for that matter, why you lost Alex Perez his title. But honestly, I think what it comes down to is that up until recently, you were the Jay Scott of Anarchy Inc. You were the tick hanging on to someone much better than you. And now that he's gone, you're realizing that on your own, you're nothing. You replaced him with Brian, and you lost. You added the Nemesis champion to the mix, and you lost. Did you ever stop to think that the constant here was you? You're using people better than you to make yourself relevant, but even they can't drag a decent match out of you. You just bring them down and make them failures too. Stop ruining the legacies of people like Alex and Brian by dragging them down with you. It's time to hang up those boots of yours and ride off into the sunset. No doubt there are plenty of boys in the back who'll look after Carrie when you're gone.
Just when it seemed she was ready to give up, Liza had an unexpected guest in her brother Daniel Horror, the third sibling. He reassured Liza that she can't give up, as the openweight champion was coming to Nemesis, and she was defending against Sheila, the very woman Liza seems to have overcome several times. Could Liza be next after Sheila, especially this close to endgame? Almost unprovoked, Jacob Nitro attacked Golden Mask at an establishment and left a mess behind. We want to remind everyone that the CWL talent is in charge of their own lives, and any damages are not held liable against CWL. These two need to figure out exactly what's going on and settle it inside the ring once and for all. Even though he was trying to just train and prepare for the Dreamboats, it seems they were one step ahead, A camera was found at the place Alex was training at, much to the dismay of the Kingsmen. Tomorrow they face off with a chance for Alex to finally get his match against Zach Anderson. Ahead of his incredibly important tag team match against Tora Khan and Samuel Black, Johnny Gemini had a few words to say.
Samuel Black, Tora Khan, I accept your offer. Not because I need Connor's help to take you on, but because you two need to be taught a lesson in humility. When Tora Khan attacked me, I thought it was because you two wanted to break me down piece by piece until I was powder underneath your boots. But I was being selfish, because to you guys, I'm just a stepping stone at best on your path to glory and gold. In your minds, Connor and I are already 6 feet under, and the belts are in your hands. But that's where you're wrong. I've said it before, I don't go down easily. And if teaming with Connor to take away your endgame opportunity is the best way to get that point across, I will gladly do it one more time. So, Khan, Black, this Sunday, you're going to get the match you asked for, and I hope you're ready.
Thank you for joining us on this week's edition of CWL Discord Weekly. Don't forget to hit that follow button on Twitch to get notified when we go live. Hit that like button and subscribe on YouTube as well to stay up to date on everything that happens in the CWL universe. Catch you later.